And this just goes to show you what kind of banana republic the United States has been for the very, very, very longest time. For the longest time. I look back at when I started doing YouTube videos and looking at all this stuff and realizing, all these appointed people, appointed judges, appointed this, appointed that. We're not voting these people for a reason. So that when the club gets their guys in there, should they lose the top brass, it doesn't matter because the guys under them they've appointed. So in an example like Trump winning, now he gets to remove all those guys underneath that were appointed, that he has the rights to do so as the president in the executive branch, people in the FBI, the Department of Justice, right? That's all the executive branch. Go handle business. But what happens when another Clinton, Bush, Obama gets elected? Then they go and fire everybody else and then put their people right back in place again, right? So that's what you see. That's why it's critical you've got someone at the top that's on your side. In this case, I'm telling you, it's Trump. But just to show you how insane this is and how truthful that we've been talking about this, that these people are selected, they're handpicked, they've got their judges in play, they've got all these people that they've handpicked that will toe the line of the agenda. Here's one from Zero Hedge. Leaked transcripts reveal courtroom showdown between Manafort judge and Mueller team. Yesterday, we told you about an intense courtroom battle that played out on Friday between the judge in Paul Manafort's case and an attorney for special counsel Robert Mueller, in which the judge said that Mueller shouldn't have unfettered power to prosecute Manafort for charges that have nothing to do with collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians. Manafort's lawyers have asked the judge in the Virginia case to dismiss an indictment filed against him in what was their third effort to beat back criminal charges by attacking Mueller's authority, in addition to pushing back against the special counsel's argument for why Manafort's bank fraud charges are related to the Russia investigation. The judge also questioned why Manafort's case could not be handled by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Virginia rather than the special counsel's office, and as it's simply not related to the Russia thing. Today, a transcript of that hearing was leaked by Twitter user at techno_fog, a New York attorney who eloquently dissected the intense back and forth between Eastern District of Virginia Judge T.S. Ellis and Ronald Reagan appointee, and Mueller attorney Michael Dreeben. So we've got a judge who was appointed back when a good guy, Reagan, was in office. Imagine if this was a Bush appointee, a Clinton appointee, a Barack Obama appointee. What you're about to hear would not have happened. The transcript reveals an unimpressed Ellis repeatedly pushing back against Dreeben's attempts to tie Manafort's bank fraud case to Russia, while an arrogant Dreeben suggests that the power vested in Ellis is dwarfed by the special counsel's omnipotence. Ellis then calls out the case as an attempt by Mueller to gain leverage over Manafort. Quote, "You really care about what information Mr. Manafort can give you that would reflect on Mr. Trump or lead to his prosecution or impeachment or whatever. That's what you're really interested in," he said. Ellis then points out to Dreeben that the special counsel's indictment against Manafort doesn't mention 1. Russian individuals, 2. Russian banks, 3. Russian money, 4. Russian payments to Manafort. To which Dreeben looped back to the argument that the money that forms the basis for the criminal charges comes from Manafort's Ukraine activities, which is tied to Manafort's Russia activities, which still doesn't answer the judge's question. Manafort's attorney hit back, calling the special counsel's arguments absolutely erroneous. Ellis has given prosecutors 2 weeks to show what evidence they have that Manafort was complicit in colluding with the Russians. If they can't come up with any, he may presumably dismiss the case. Ellis he also asked the special counsel's office to share privately with him a copy of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein's August 2017 memo elaborating on the scope of Mueller's Russia probe, he said the current version he has is heavily redacted. Imagine that. A judge gets a redacted memo. Even the judge can't see this, right? Only evil is hidden in the dark. And if you scratch something out in black and you can't see what's there, that's being hidden in the dark. Why do you think it's hidden? Because there's nothing there. They've got nothing. Precedents. If this gets dismissed, the judge may single-handedly end the cat and mouse games by the special counsel and would make it much harder for Mueller to turn any other parties to his side because all charges are unrelated to Russia so far, says Rob Lee. I guess it's a Twitter user talked about that. Without further introduction, Technofog's breakdown of the transcripts with full copy at the bottom. I got my hands on the May 4th transcript from the USA v. Manafort hearing in front of Judge Ellis, thanks to a close friend. Here we go. Judge Ellis immediately lays out his understanding of the Manafort case. The criminal indictment relates back to 2005, 2007, etc., that the DOJ investigation of Manafort had been going on for years. And I don't need to read all this. I'll post a link. You don't need to hear, because I'll be here for 15 minutes reading this to you. Anyway, so can't wait to see how this one ends, but it just goes to show you, if this was any other handpicked judge by the club, not Ronald Reagan, this would not be news right now. You'd have heard nothing. It'd have been completely fine. They'd have been trying to find something with, find something out of nothing, and you wouldn't have heard about this. I'm telling you, some of these people need to be in freaking prison. And Psychic Utsava says many of them are going to be locked up. She's been saying this for a while. Like, I think even last year. She felt like it would be this year. Now, I will tell you, Michelle White Dove also feels something similar is going to happen to some of these people. A little bit different of a timeline. A little later than what Utsava says. But that's interesting. We got two of them. I would love nothing more than to see these swamp creatures drained and some good people put back in these positions. It's time to turn our freaking country around. It's ridiculous. Take care.